Hi, and welcome to this class called Morning Person. It will be my assumption that you are using this practice to start your day. So I invite you to give yourself some grace as you move and slowly wake all the parts of your body up as we endeavor to come off the mat clear and ready to face the day. Let's start in a nice tall seat. Rest your shoulders back and down. Close up the layer of your eyes and observe from the inside out the way that your spine can slowly and softly lift and lengthen. Clear a landing breath and give yourself a moment to connect with the flow of the breath moving in and out of your body. Notice the layers of your breath as it begins to fill you on each inhale. Diving low into your belly and moving softly and slowly into your sides and your back and finally filling up into your chest. And enjoy the process of release as you let the breath go all the way down to the bottom. We'll take about 3 more like this, really attempting to invite these breaths to be completely expansive inside, full body breaths. You can welcome yourself to keep your hands rested on your lap, or should it speak to you, you might choose to pull hands up toward your heart space, palms pressed or folded over your heart. And it can be a powerful practice to give ourselves a moment of personal intention or personal dedication to begin our day. So potentially there is something in particular that you've been working to cultivate, or a quality that feels like it really makes sense in this moment. Invite a simple moment to hold space for this and bring this in. And when your exhale comes, release your fingers down to the sides. Continue to sit up tall. Eyes can be opened or closed. As you inhale, reach and stretch all the way up to the sky. And when you get here, you're going to take your left fingers around your right wrist and use a slow exhale to tip a little bit to the left. Inhale, lift all the way back up through center and change your grasp, right fingers around left wrist, and then exhale, tip a little to the right. Let's go side to side one more time. Inhale, lift through center and change your grasp. Exhale and tip to the left. Inhale, lift through center and change your grasp. Exhale and reach to the right. Inhale, lift all the way up through center and use a slow exhale to swim down like the air resisted you, so you could use the whole breath. Keep fingertips connected to the floor, even choose to walk them further away from you, as far as your fingertips can reach. And with a slow exhale, let your chin fall down into your chest. Muscles of the back of your neck should feel long. We'll take a full body breath here. When your next exhale comes, tip and roll your right ear over toward your right shoulder and observe the length that happens on the left side of your neck. Take a full body inhale. And when your exhale comes, transition slowly through center and then tip and roll left ear over toward left shoulder. And stay for a full body breath. Now I'm going to invite you to go side to side, and in my body, I like to use a full exhale to move through center and come to the right, and a full inhale to move through center and roll to the left. What I would invite you to do is close your eyes and see how it is that your body responds, what your body's intuition says of how it is that you might weave together body and breath. And we're just going to stay in our own rhythm for about 3 more. Really good. Whenever it is that your chin naturally gravitates toward your chest, let the head hang there. Inhale to pick up the crown of the head and your shoulders too. And then exhale with a soft roll, bring them back and down. We'll come over the front edges of the knees, kick your feet around behind you, stand your hands down into the floor in a form of a table. Of course, if that doesn't work, just tip everything off and roll over to all fours. Hands spread out nice and wide under your shoulders. Hips are stacked completely up over your knees so the body forms the shape of a table. And when your inhale comes, we'll drop our belly and carve our heart open, cow pose. And when our exhale comes, push the floor away around your upper back and let your head hang. Good. Forward and backward like this at least 3 times. Inhale to lift your chest up, lift your tail up. Exhale, push the floor away and round. Every inhale makes space through the belly, chest, collars, maybe throat. And every exhale makes space across the ledge of the upper back, through the neck muscles, between the shoulder blades. And stay with it for at least one more full round. Good. When your next inhale comes, we'll change the positioning of our hands. Bring hands further forward of the shoulders, 8 to 10 inches, wide spread of your fingers, and then tuck your toes and lift your bum all the way up behind you for our first downward facing dog. And because this is most likely the first downward dog of your day, please be kind to explore how your body might need to make space. So for a lot of us, it makes a lot of sense to not jam the legs straight at all, but instead invite in maybe a pedal, or maybe bending both knees together and continuously trying to lift hips up high, taking some soft sinking spaces of heels toward the floor, endeavoring to really press down through our hands. We can use this as a base to energetically pull our weight back from our wrists and our hands. This is the idea of putting hands well in front of our shoulders. Is the hope is we can pull the weight back into our legs instead of forward into our wrists. From here, keep your hands plugged. Use an inhale, lift your right leg up until you feel a big stretch. And then look forward to your hands and step your right foot through to the front. It might need some help to pull it forward and bring it here. Fingertips are going to stay to the floor, and if you practice with yoga blocks, you could welcome yourself to bring your fingertips onto blocks, just bringing the floor a little closer. And we're just going to kind of marinate into the tenderness of our hips, this space where we're saying good morning to our body. So you can welcome yourself to pulse and play around, really trying to tenderly open this space. Or if it feels available, you can start to pull your chest forward and your shoulders back as you feel the strength of your back leg for one more big breath. Good. When your exhale comes, especially if hands are lifted up on blocks, really feel the press of your hands back to the floor and step your front foot back for down dog. Clear a big breath in through the nose and all the way out. And when your next in-breath comes, reach and stretch your left leg high. When your exhale comes, step your left foot through to your hands. Same thing, help it come here. Fingertips stay under the shoulders or use your blocks. Give yourself a chance to check out how it is that it feels on this side of the body. It can be a totally different experience. You're either going to keep playing and pulsing and bobbing, or you'll find some stillness to pull your chest forward, shoulders back, back leg strong. We'll clear one more big breath. Hands plugged down onto the floor and front foot steps back, downward facing dog. Again, a wide spreading fan of your hands, endeavoring to keep inner sides of the hands pressing down. Lift your tailbone high. And when your exhale comes, walk or step all the way up to the top of the mat. When your feet are even beneath you, inhale your chest up halfway. Make a lot of length through your spine. When your exhale comes, release down and fold. Arms to the sky with a big full breath. And then exhale, your hands come through your heart. Release fingertips down to the sides and feel the steadiness of mountain pose. That means that there is a clear rooting through the corners of your feet and every inch and fiber of you stands tall. When your inhale comes, stretch high. Bring your left fingertips around your right wrist and use an exhale to stretch a little over to the left. Inhale, lift through center, and we'll change sides. Right fingertips around left wrist. Exhale away to the right. Inhale, lift all the way up high, and release your hands as you exhale, dive down, forward fold. Halfway up with an in-breath. Simple fold. Fingertips to support you, right foot back. We're going to keep this back heel and knee lifted. Fingers can stay to the floor under your shoulders, or you could use your blocks. Pull your chest forward and tone some length and some strength here. Fingertips on the floor is a great way to really just get some strength into the legs and open the tender space of our hips. But if you're feeling like you'd like to light up a little energy, pull strength into your belly, de-weight your hands, and reach your fingers all the way back behind you, shoulders pulling back away from the ears. Good. When your exhale comes, hands come down to the floor if you've lifted. Back knee is going to lower too. And we're going to slowly pull our hip back so we can extend our front leg forward. I like to rest on my heel of the front leg. Pull your toes towards your shin and your heart towards your toes. And breathe here for 2 more big breaths. Great. When your exhale comes, rebend through your front knee. Hands will come down to frame this front foot. And as we lift up off the back knee, we'll come back to downward facing dog. Take a big wide spread of your fingers and a purposeful lift of your tailbone behind you. And when your inhale comes, please press forward to a version of a plank. Your knees might lower right away, bringing shoulders up over wrists. And when your exhale comes, we're going to come down with control. Strong legs pushes your feet to the floor. Inhale, roll your chest open, cobra pose. And then exhale, we come back to where we were before, downward facing dog. Wide spread of your hands, use a big inhale, reach your right leg high, and it might feel really good to bend your knee and fan your hip open. Look up toward your hands and bring your right foot through to the front. And we'll pivot our back heel down for a warrior 2. So your front heel more or less intersects your back arch in alignment, and we lift and cartwheel arms up and open. Sitting down into our own work, giving ourselves some space to stretch open the chest, roll inner thigh to outer thigh. And from here, you're going to use an exhale to bring your hands back behind you. You could always just touch lightly to the back of your hips, but if available, you're going to thread your fingers together and roll your shoulders open. This is a perfect place to stay, so feel empowered to do that, or slowly start to turn your chest toward the front knee. This is a great place to check back in with the front knee. Make sure it's not collapsing to the inner edge of the big toe. Pull it back to center right over the ankle, and maybe give yourself a couple of breaths to bow. You can come toward the front thigh bone, or you can sneak yourself all the way into the inner edge of your thigh as you release your head. 1 more big breath. When your exhale comes, hands come down to touch the earth, back heel lifts up, and we're going to push to step to the top of the mat. With your feet even beneath you, inhale your chest up halfway, and then exhale, release and fold. Arms to the sky with a big full breath. Exhale your hands through your heart. Same again, inhale, lift high, left fingers around right wrist. Exhale, a little over to the left. Inhale back up through center, change your grasp, and exhale a little to the right. Inhale all the way up through center, release your hands, and swan dive down, let it feel good, forward fold. Halfway up with an in-breath. Simple forward fold. Fingertips to support you, left foot back. Fingers stay under your shoulders. You can always use blocks. Lift some space from the strength of your legs into your belly, so this keeps your chest very open. A long line forms through your body from your back heel to the crown of the head. You can keep fingertips supported or charge into your belly to keep upper body lifted and reach your fingers back, so pulling shoulders back from ears. When your exhale comes, hands come back down to touch the blocks or the floor. Lower your back knee, and then pull your front leg towards straight as you kick your heel all the way out in front of you. A little length through the leg can really be found by lifting and pulling your breastbone up. This brings a little bit of space into our low back again. And breathe here 1 more. Let it feel good. Great. When your exhale comes, your front foot finds the floor again. Hands come to frame the foot, and your back knee lifts, and we'll come through to downward facing dog. Push forward with an inhale to find a plank. You can always bring your knees down right away. And when your exhale comes, come all the way to the mat with control. Cobra pose, high or low. Feel some strength in your legs to support your back, shoulders back. And then downward facing dog we go. Wide spread of the hands, clear a big breath. When your inhale comes, left leg lifts high. It might feel good to bend your knee and open your hip. And then look up towards your hands and bring that guy all the way through to the front for warrior 2. Back heel turns and spins, and when you feel good and ready, lift everything all the way up and open. Chest slides open, fingertips reaching away. From here, we'll take our hands and bring them back behind us, resting to the back of our hips, or threading all the way together so we can loop our shoulders open. If this is working out, you're going to take a slow turn of your upper body toward your front thigh. Check out the stance of the front foot and the knee. Make sure it's staying stacked. And if you have the freedom and the invitation, bow toward the front thigh. You can come a couple inches, or you can even start to sneak to the inner edge of your thigh. If you're coming to the inner edge of your thigh, consider bowing the crown of your head to the floor, full humbled warrior. When your exhale comes, release your fingertips to frame your front foot, pick up your back heel, and step forward. Feet beneath you, nice and even. Inhale your chest up halfway. Exhale, release and fold. Arms to the sky with a big open sweep. And then hands through the center of your heart. Please work with your own breath for 3 breaths. Inhale, lift high. Exhale your hands through your heart. 2 more, lifting high. And through your heart, follow your own breath. Don't worry about matching me. Great. As you come back, hands into heart, look down toward the floor and walk your feet a little bit closer toward one another. So I would love if you were an inside hip distance, meaning if you felt for your hip points, your feet were standing to the inner edges of your hip points. Touch your hands into center so you can remember where center and midline is. Move your weight intentionally down through your left foot and see about bending the right knee so you can clasp your foot, catch onto your pants, or hold your ankle behind you. If this isn't available, you could definitely give yourself a moment to grab something that will help you bind the foot, pick up through the front ledge of your pubic bone, and then try to slowly start to direct your knee toward the earth until you really feel a big stretch through the front of the quadricep. So we're trying to keep our pelvis lifted and neutral, not dumping forward or spilling back. And maybe or maybe not, you can stretch your whole left arm to the sky. This is a really nice stretch to open this big muscle group. So stay here. This is great. Or if you feel like a little challenge, kick your right foot into your hand and hinge forward a bit through your hip crease, opening up to more of a variation of our dancer pose. Last big breath here. Go with an inhale, come to stand tall. And an exhale, we step everything back down. Look to your feet and readjust them so they're back under the basin of your pelvis. Find the center of your body with your hands. Shift into the right foot and try to de-weight to grab a left foot behind you. It might be a different journey here, so reach for the foot, the ankle, your pants, a prop. Hug the front of your pubic bone up towards your belly button so you're keeping your pelvis neutral. And then hug your heel in towards your sit bone, pointing your kneecap down until you feel an openness through the quadricep. Reaching fingertips high and clear a breath. Stay or hinge through your hip crease, kicking your left foot into your left hand variation dancer pose. This will really roll your whole left shoulder open. Good. Inhale, come to stand. And exhale, step all of this down. We'll come all the way down to the mat with a sweep. Inhale to lift high. And a full body exhale to fold and let go. Halfway up with an inhale. And then another deep forward fold. Bend your knees enough your fingers can touch the earth. Lower yourself down through a seat and make sure you have plenty of room for yourself on the mat. Consider bringing both feet together, soles of the feet together, knees open wide. And we're going to work our way down onto our back body. As you get onto your back body, if this feels like a crunchy or compressive posture to be in right away, you can welcome yourself to hug knees towards you first or stretch out long. If it feels okay in your body, I would invite you to open your arms wide in a capital T shape and allow your shoulder blades to fold in beneath. Release any strength through your neck so the back of your head is completely rested and cradled. And we'll just take 3 easy breaths here, filling completely to the belly, to the edges of the ribs, up into the chest, and all the way back out. 2 more, just like that. When your next exhale comes, let your hands come down to touch your outer thigh bones. Draw your knees back together and hug knees in towards you. You might take a really tight squeeze, or you might find that it makes sense to be loose and to rock a bit side to side. If it feels okay in your body, I'm going to invite you to circulate around the base of your tailbone. And depending on how this feels in your body, you could let your circles really be dictated by an intrinsic invitation. So an intuition that knows whether your circles should be small or big and loopy, or every one a little different from the last. Come back to center if you've only gone one way, and consider for just a couple of rotations going the other way. And then back into center again. When you're ready, both feet will drop down to the floor. Adjust your hips so they feel nested to the earth, and bend your elbows enough that your hands can come to rest lightly on the lower rim of your rib cage. Breathe a huge full body breath in, and watch the full release of it go. Let's stay with this for 5 big breaths, making your inhales expansive into your belly, into your ribs, into your back, up into your chest, and all the way out. Stay curious with this rhythm and allow it to completely hold your rapt attention for 3 more. You could keep your hands exactly where they are, or shift them so they come over your heart, or one over your heart and one down on your belly. Reconsider intentions and dedications and qualities that we will move out of this space, off of this mat, and into all the other corners and moments of our day. My deep hope is that we can continue to give ourselves time and space so we can create clarity, so that we can live and move through life on purpose. The light that burns within me recognizes and deeply bows to that light that burns within you, and that makes us the same. And I thank you for being here to share this class. Namaste.